The velocity of the impact sent the much heavier Ford broadsliding 39 feet down Route 466 in the opposing lane. The collision was witnessed by several passersby who stopped to help. A woman with nursing experience attended to Dean and detected a weak pulse in his neck. California.
Come down, Arnold.
What the fuck was that?
It was an Arnold coming out.
California.
California.
Going to pump you up.
Sarah Connor.
California Highway Patrol Captain Ernest Tripke and his partner Corporal Ronald Nelson were called to the scene. Before Tripke and Nelson arrived, Dean had been extricated from the Spider's mangled cockpit, his left foot having been crushed between the clutch pedal and the brake pedal. He was severely injured as his vehicle took the brunt of the crash, suffering a broken neck and massive internal and external injuries. Nelson witnessed an unconscious and dying Dean being placed into an ambulance and a barely conscious Wutherick, who had been thrown from the Spider, lying on the shoulder of the road next to the wrecked vehicle. Dean and Wutherick were taken in the same ambulance to the Paso Robles War Memorial Hospital 28 miles away. Dean was pronounced dead on arrival at 6:20 p.m. by the attending emergency room physician, Dr. Robert Bossert. The cause of death listed on James Dean's death certificate is listed as a broken neck, multiple fractures of the upper and lower jaw, both right and left arm broken, and internal injuries.
Do you ever wonder if because they moved him or maybe how they moved him for
Absolutely.
the time? I mean, you can heal a broken arm. I mean, today, internal injuries can be fixed a lot of the time.
Yeah, but we got like, this was like the 50s too.
I know.
So, number one, I don't think that they really knew don't move the person. And number two,
think about when, what's his face? Got in that crash.
Paul Walker?
No. Jesus Christ. Dane. And the guy he fell asleep at the wheel or whatever, got in that accident and someone pulled him out. That's number one common knowledge that you don't pull someone out, man.
Yeah, no, you leave them there. I mean,
unless the car is on fire.
Yep.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So, for some reason, doesn't seem to really be a reason for it, but I guess James Dean's car is cursed now, or people believe it to be.
Yeah.
So, the curse of James Dean's car, the little bastard, has become part of America's cultural mythology. Before the car had been involved in any crash, the curse may have already started, some believe. In his 1985 biography, Blessings in Disguise, British actor Sir Alec Guinness relates that on his first night in LA on Friday, September 23rd, 1955, after leaving a restaurant with no table available and setting out to look elsewhere, he and his friend Thelma Moss met James Dean, who invited them to dine with him at his table at the place they had just left and showed them his red Porsche with Dean saying, "It's just been delivered." A hungry and exhausted Guinness then warned Dean to never go into the car. Quote, "Please never get in it. It is now 10 o'clock, Friday, the 23rd of September, 1955. If you get in that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week." It was really fucking creepy.
Dude, he just had the vibes, man.
Yeah.
He looked at it. He looked it in the headlights because it doesn't have eyes, but I'm going to attribute it like cars. Like
cars. Lightning McQueen.
Yeah. And he just looked at it and he said, "You're bad fucking news. I don't like you."
And the crash was the following Friday.
Mm-hmm.
After the fatal crash, Warren Beath, a James Dean archivist and author, attributes the existence of the curse to George Barris, the self-described, quote, "king of the customizers." Customizers is spelled with a K.
He can spell his business however he wants. Okay, this is America.
He says he was the first to purchase the wrecked car. Barris promoted the curse after he placed the wreck on public display in 1956. Over the years, Barris described a mysterious series of accidents and car crashes that occurred from 1956 to 1960 involving the little bastard, resulting in serious injuries to spectators and even a truck driver's death. Raskin states many claims regarding the curse appear to have been based on Barris's 1974 book, Cars of the Stars. Raskin's 2005 book, James Dean at Speed, states that the wrecked Spider was declared as a total loss by the insurance company, which paid Dean's father, Winton, the fair market value as a settlement. The insurance company, in turn, through a salvage yard in Burbank, sold the Spider to a Dr. William F.
Spell it out.
Esrich.
Okay.
He, who had competed against Dean in his own sports car at 3 race events during 1955, dismantled the engine and mechanical parts and installed the Porsche 4-cam engine in his Lotus 9 race car chassis.
I was wondering if you were going to get into the parting out of the original Spider.
Esrich then raced the Porsche-powered Lotus, which he called a POTUS, at 7 California Sports Car Club events during 1956.
That's a stupid nickname.
POTUS?
Yeah, only because it already exists for something else.
Well, I don't think that came up until later.
I'm going to look into that.
Yeah. At the Pomona Sports Car Races on October 21st, 1956, Esrich, driving this car, was involved in a minor shunt, as it's been described, with another driver.
Other than for neurosurgery, what the hell is a shunt?
Like a run-in.
Like a fender bender?
Wait, that's what I'm gathering, yeah. Doesn't really go into detail, but Barris's Cars of the Stars states that a Dr. McHenry, quote, driving a car powered by the engine from Dean's car, was killed when his vehicle went out of control and struck a tree in the first race in which the motor had been used since Dean's mishap. Another doctor, William F. Eschrid of Burbank, was injured in the same race when his car, which contained the drivetrain from Dean's car, rolled over.
I'm really uncomfortable with the fact that they're both doctors and they have similar last names.
Yeah.
I think it's just a you problem, baby.
What do you mean?
Them.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
No.
Esrich, interviewed a day after McHenry's fatal crash, said he had loaned the Dean transmission and several other parts to McHenry.
That's a weird statement to make. Hey, you want to borrow my transmission?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, buddy, I do. What the fuck is that, Minnesota? Okay.
Quote, I don't believe he was using the transmission when he crashed, but he was using the back swinging arms, which holds the rear end. End quote.
Can I hold your rear end?
No.
Oh.
McHenry appears to have the distinction of being the only bona fide victim of the curse. Raskin states that although Barris may have customized several cars for Rebel without a cause, he never customized any of Dean's personal cars in neither of his Porsches.
He's just saying that to keep lawyers off his ass.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. Lou Bracker, Dean's best friend in Los Angeles and fellow Porsche racer, maintains that Barris was not involved with Dean's racing activities. He was never considered to be part of Dean's inner circle, invited to go to Salinas on September 30th, 1955. It's not known exactly how Barris knew Esrich, but he was given the Spider's mangled body after Esrich had stripped out the Porsche. In 1956, Barris announced that he was going to rebuild the little bastard, but that proved to be a huge task as the wrecked chassis had no remaining integrity. Instead, Barris decided to weld aluminum sheet metal over the caved-in left front fender and cockpit area.
That is the most redneck shit I've ever heard.
Oh, it gets better.
You should have just fucking duct taped it, buddy. It would have stayed better.
He proceeded to beat on the aluminum panels with a 2x4 to try to simulate what would appear to be collision damage.
Oh, fuck me.
Later in 1956, Barris loaned out the little bastard to the Los Angeles chapter of the National Safety Council for a local rod and custom car show. The gruesome display was promoted as James Dean's last sports car. During 1957 to 1959, the exhibit was toured in various rod and custom car shows, movie theaters, bowling alleys, and highway safety displays throughout California.
Where was that at the little... Do you remember the safety thing they made us go to?
No.
Did we only get... Was it just my class?
What safety thing are you talking about?
They took us to, like, Dryden High School or something like that. They took us to another high school. I remember getting on buses, okay? And they had a whole... It was like what we did in the gym. Like, it was in their gym, but they had a cop doing it.
Are you talking about the scooter thing that we would do? Like, Little Townville or whatever it was.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was bigger. It was bigger, and we actually had like tricycles and shit. I'm not even kidding you.
We never did that.
No?
No.
Oh, dude, that was like one of my favorite field trips. For no reason other than I get to ride tricycles at a different school and like pretend to get traffic stopped by a cop.
So there are a few stories associated with the curse that can be corroborated. For example, a wire service story on March 12, 1959 reported that the little bastard, temporarily stored in a garage at 3158 Hamilton Avenue in Fresno, caught fire, awaiting display as a safety exhibit in a coming sports and custom automobile show. However, on May 12, 1959, the Fresno Bee reported that the fire occurred on the night of March 11th and only slight damage occurred to the Spider without any damage to other cars or property in the garage.
Okay, well, that really depends on where the fire started, how long it was burning. I'm just saying.
No one was injured. The cause of the fire is unknown. It burned 2 tires and scorched the paint on the vehicle. Later that year, the little bastard toured national auto shows and traffic safety exhibitions. Legend also holds that the little bastard mysteriously disappeared in 1960.
There it is.
According to Barris, the Spider was returning from a traffic safety exhibit in Florida in a sealed truck. In Barris's book and in many TV interviews, he said the little bastard was being shipped back in a sealed boxcar, and when the train arrived in Los Angeles, Barris said he signed the manifest and verified that the seal was intact, but the boxcar was empty. Raskin believes that Barris's little bastard sideshow had lost its fan appeal just as the 1960s pop culture began to focus on big block muscle cars.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
You're saying yeah for you or yeah you know?
I'm agreeing.
Oh, okay.
And also, yes, I know. Raskin also believes that Barris opted to misplace the little bastard.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. The mysterious disappearance stories were Barris's way of perpetuating the Dean myth, especially on the milestone anniversaries of Dean's death. Although the legendary little bastard seemingly has disappeared from sight, Historic Auto Attractions in Roscoe, Illinois claims to have an original piece of Dean's Spider on display. Basically just a small chunk of aluminum, like a few square inches in size.
Convenient that there's nothing with a serial number or part number that you can identify.
Probably brings them business, though.
Let me go get some sheet metal from Home Depot, beat the shit out of it with a 2x4, spray paint it, scorch it with my fucking kerosene thing, and I'll be like, I got it, y'all. Make us so much fucking money.
They say it was prized off and stolen from an area near the broken windscreen while the Spider was being stored in the Colame garage following the crash. Also, in 2005, for the 50th anniversary of Dean's death, the Volo Auto Museum in Volo, Illinois announced they were displaying what was purported to be the passenger door of the little bastard. Volo and Barris offered $1 million to anyone who could prove that they owned the remains of the little bastard, and no one came forward.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't.
Yeah. The 4-cam Porsche engine, serial number 90059, along with the original California owner's registration, listing the engine number, is still in the possession of the family of the late Dr. Esrich. The Porsche's transaxle assembly is currently owned by Porsche collector and restorer Jack Stiles in Massachusetts.
Hey.
Or as your daughter calls it, Massachusetts.
Mom, you've broken her. Massachusetts.
And Raskin originally documented and published all the serial numbers for the Spider chassis engine transmission, as well as for his 356 Super Speedster. To date, neither of Dean's Porsches have been located. And that is it on the curse of James Dean's Porsche.
Again, we're going to go watch Supernatural because there's an episode about that.
So, I mean, what do you think about it? Do you think there's?
I think the guy paid somebody to ship an empty boxcar, basically, to hype it up. Because yes, you're right. It's gonna lose.
It's gonna lose its appeal.
Yeah, it does,
and it did. Especially like that car ain't. Excuse me.
That car ain't
shit compared to the muscle cars of the 60s and 70s and into the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've really destroyed muscle cars.
They're stupid now.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. 9 times out of 10, I don't even like the look of any of these. I'm like, ew.
Yeah. Now,